Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, by now y'all should know, and if you don't know, welcome. I am your host E, and I'm thrilled to tell you today's vibe of the day. But before I get into that, I just want to say, get comfortable, baby, because this is about to be something special to me. Like, this vibe really gets to me in so many ways, and it's dedicated to my people. So shout out to my amazing black people all around the world. So please get comfortable, whether you're on the go, on the move, sit back and relax and enjoy listening to my voice. So today's vibe of the day is hustling, and as I said, this is dedicated to my people. So shout out to all my black beautiful queens and kings out there that are hustlers. So yes, hustling. Where did I get started at? I've always admired people who hustle. Like, it's just so incredible to me to see how we are willing to do things to achieve our goals. Like, we work so hard when we have nights where we be so tired. And that's where that saying, no days off. Like, you hustle with no days off. Like, Fetty Wap said, go hard, no days off. Like, that saying right there, it should be in the Hustlers Plan handbook. If they even have one, they should put that in there. But yes, like, I really see a lot of my black people putting in a lot of effort, and they never give up. Like, oh my God, like, it's so many amazing things that you guys are doing on all these platforms and things like that. It's just so inspiring to me, because it's like, wow, like, I think what sets them apart, meaning us, what sets us apart is that we are determined to achieve these goals. Whatever we hustling for, we determined to achieve this. We are determined to get the shit done. Even if you gotta do the extra mile and stuff. Things like that is really touching, because you don't see a lot of people doing it, especially different races. I always see black people have extra source of income, know how to do this, know how to do that, and we don't get enough credit for that, because we hustle, and we hustle hard, okay? We hustle real hard. Like, we are always on the move. Like, we always pushing ourselves to do better, and that is so inspiring, because that inspired me at a young age to have that drive to the fullest when it came to my people. Like, at a young age, I seen my mom and dad, have other ways to make income, or just, basically income, because a lot of people, say, oh, hustling just for income, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can hustle for a lot of things. Like, I have always learned that hustling can refer to, like, anything that you put your mind to. Like, yes, with the money, when it comes to money, but it also can impact to things in your life, such as, like, academics, sports, personal projects, or pursuing your creative endeavors. Like, come on now, that's one of the biggest things ever. Like, when you hustle for yours and you make it yours and do all you into it, you got it. Like, that's it. That's you there. Like, that shit is going to go off. Long as you just put that blueprint out and make sure it's good, you real good. Like, I think it inspires me to see people who have that kind of drive and determination to achieve their goals. It makes me want to work harder and become more focused on, like, my objectives. Like, I just want to do so much like y'all are doing, because it's like, when you have that hustling mindset, it's like, I'm going to do any and everything to make sure I'm good before I ever depend on somebody else to help me or to give me something, Like, I always say to myself, like, I'm a female at the end of the day. I'm a black woman at the end of the day. And, y'all hear them narratives they say about black women, oh, they always want to be a housewife and shit like that. No, I don't want to be a housewife. because that's not me. I don't want to be behind the scenes. You gonna see me, you gonna hear this, you gonna see who I am, what I'm about, and why I do what I do. You know, I just feel like, and me personally, like I mentioned, like I grew up seeing my parents hustle with a lot of things, mainly with income, but also when it came to education, projects, everything they wanted to do, they really hustled hard for that. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Like, it's not easy. Even when you hustling, sometimes it do be stressful, but you gotta think, at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I got shit to do. I got shit to make sure it's done by a certain time, or I got time period, you know, limit and stuff like that. Like, you know, I ain't got time for jokes, so I'm gonna bust my ass until I gotta bust it. Even if I gotta work 60 days straight with no motherfucking days off, I guarantee you I'm gonna do it because I got shit that needs to be done. And this is for me. You know, people be like, oh, why you doing that? Why you doing too much? You know what? I'm gonna do too much because this is me. And it was so crazy because I was talking to my best friend on FaceTime, and I was like, you know how like they be on reality TV shows and they be having their own theme songs, like, well, not theme songs, they had the songs when they walking in the club or something like that. I said I always wanted that to happen for us in real life. And I said if I would have a song, it would be Cash Doll doing too much, because at one point in time in my life, I wasn't in that position where I was hustling. I was hustling for school, yes, of course, to get, you know, had a good GPA and stuff. But when I started working and going to school and now having the podcast, that made me hustle more. I felt like I'm more of a hustler, you know. And I said, I want my theme song to be doing too much, because like Cash Doll said, like, people be like, Cash, you doing too much. And she like, I'm like, shut up, you ain't doing enough. Like, oh, you mad? That's too bad. Since you asked, I like doing too much. You know, and sometimes you gotta do too much, especially when it's hustling done and you need to do stuff and it needs to be something done at this time. You want to do what you gotta do, even if you gotta do too much. But you know what to do too much of and not what to do much not, if that makes sense. But yes, like I completely agree that finding a balance between hard work and self-care is crucial. That thing is crucial, man. Like, that is amazing. It's easy to get, at times, it is easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget about taking care of ourselves, though. Now, that's another thing, too, I learned. Like, when you hustle, sometimes it do get tiring sometimes, to the point where you forget about things. But at the end of the day, it's like, when you know that you got a limit on something and a time, sometimes you do get sidetracked. Because I didn't realize to you, like, when I was working like 2 jobs, well, I am still working 2 jobs, and when school was in session, sometimes I would be like, I almost would forget damn assignments. That's how bad it was. Because like, when you hustling for this one, when you hustling to make ends meet, and then hustling to make sure that you get this degree and have those credits before you graduate, sometimes it's tiring. It is. But I always had to think, like, you know, I gotta take a deep breath, give myself some space so I can, you know, get back on track. You know, sometimes it's gonna take me a while, but I gotta get back on track. You know, so when it comes to hustling, a lot of people will be saying the motherfucking cons and not the motherfucking pros. And let me break it down to you when it comes to the pros of hustling. When it comes to hustling, you can achieve goals. Like I mentioned, like, you achieve hella goals. Like, hustling, like, is involved with putting in a decision that is in fact is going to help you become a hard worker, which leads you to the accomplishments of your goals and your aspirations. Like, it can drive us to push us beyond our limits and achieve success in various of areas, and like a variety of areas that a lot of people don't see. Because I always believe in the other saying too, like, don't judge a book by its cover. You know, don't be judging a motherfucker by what you see until you have the chance to sit down and really get to know that person. That's like, you know, you judging a book by its cover, but you really have not sat down and opened that damn book and said, oh shit, damn, this some deep shit. You know, you can learn from a person and you can learn from a book as well. Do it. Another thing that people fail to realize too when it comes to the pros of hustling is growth and development. Like hustling often involves stepping out of our comfort zone and taking on challenges that leads us to personal growth and development. Like, come on now. Like it helps us build new skills and adapts to things that we never been adapt to that will help us in the long run. And that could like really boost our self-esteem, and it can boost us up both the professional setting and your personal. So like hustling is good, and everything does have its pros and cons, but I feel like hustling is positive. It really is. And then like when it comes to hustling too, it gives you a lot of opportunities. Like you really have a lot of opportunities. Like wow, just by hustling we can create opportunities and open doors for ourselves. Once again, shout out to my black people, because this is for us. Like I really be on social media. Social media has its pros and its cons, y'all. It has its moments. But like I said, shout out to my black community, because I see us evolving every time. And they try to always shut us down as the bad guys, but like in reality we really doing good for ourselves. Like we really doing things for ourselves. Like come on now, whether it's like advancing in our careers or exploring new ventures, hustling can lead us to significant processes that many people be like, how the hell did they get into this position? Because you know why? I'm a hustler. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to get to where I need to be, even if I do or do not get recognized. At the end of the day, long as I get to where I need to be, that's all that matters. That's how I feel about my podcast. Like, I'm a hustle for this. I'm going to put everything I got into it. At times we have all good times, and at times we have all bad times. With the ratings, it go up and down. But you know what? I said I'm not going to stop, because I made a promise to myself that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let numbers affect me, because I'm just started. It's been a month. At times things are not going to jump off how you want to jump off until you keep hustling, and you see what you want to see. Cool. Just like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm good. I'm good now. But like when you start off sometimes hustling too, it's not going like the fast money or the grades and stuff like that. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. Everything takes time too. That's what a lot of people feel and realize too. When it comes to hustling, it's not easy. It's not like you. And then you also got to have that mindset. If you don't have that mindset of like making sure this is what you want to do, this is what you're doing it for a positive cause, and not just to do it because this is a trend. I feel like it's not a trend. This is something that people do every day because this is what they are passionate about, or this is what they need to do to make ends meet. So yeah, like being a hustler is one of the brilliant things ever. Like hustling can even help with like entrepreneurship, where individuals like create their own opportunities and ventures, and like it fosters into creating amazing things into a proactive mindset. And once you have that mindset where it's like, okay, I know how to flip this and make it this and do this and do that, you good. You real good. You a motherfucking real top dog hustler, because a lot of people don't do that. It takes time to be able to flip, ship, and rub it down. Like it takes a minute to do things like that. And a lot of people be like, okay, like I was born like this. And sometimes I don't believe in that I was born like this. I believe in that I was brought up like this. Like some things you brought up to, and then some people say these things they was born with, like natural talents and stuff. Me, I don't know. I think my natural talent is talking too damn much. Because that's all I like to do is talk, So yeah, but like I said, when it comes to hustling, I know a lot of people and a lot of things in a lot of different places and areas. And I make sure that, you got to be on good terms with these people, because these are people that's also observing you. You don't even know. Like some people you be cool with, they observe me like, damn, she really grinding. Like, damn, he really like, and it's always my black people, like, y'all really make me so happy because y'all really be doing a lot that a lot of people be trying to tell us that we can't do, and we changing the narrative. And lastly, when it comes to hustling, like, the sense of like being able to have those accomplishments when we hustle and see our like effects comes to light, it can provide like a profound sense of like accomplishments and fulfillment that boosts our self-esteem and confidence. Like I said, once you see what you have built and created come to life, what you've been working hard for, doing this, doing that, flipping this, flipping that, and you see this is what you wanted, because like the blueprint, everything you had mapped out is what you predicted in there and all that stuff, and it come like, that is the best motherfucking feeling ever. Like, when you hustle, you hustle hard, like Ace Hood said, hustle hard, because closed mouths don't get fed. Like, it's been times where I had opportunities on the table, and sometimes I had to let them go because I felt like they wasn't for me. And I look back sometimes all the time and be like, damn. But like I say all the time, like, God didn't want me to have that right now. Sometimes whoever you pray to and things like that or believe in, sometimes the opportunities that come into play that might help you in a good way with your hustling or not, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not for you, or it's not that time for you, so it's like, I've been in those predicaments where it's like, damn, that could have helped me in the long run. But then when you look at it, when you find something else or do something else another way, bop this way, that way, you like, damn, that wasn't for me, because the person that I pray to and things like that told me this not for me, and they showed me this ain't for you, I got something better for you. You know what I'm saying? And there's always the cons to everything we do. And when it comes to hustling, there's some cons, like, being burnt out and stressed. When you constantly hustling without the proper rest or self-care, it can lead to like a burnout and increases our stress level. Sometimes, like I said, we have those points where we just want to say, fuck it. But it's like, do I really want to say fuck it? Because I really started from the bottom and I'm working my way up to the top. But however, like I said, we always want to see the top, like right then and there. We don't want to wait. We don't want that shit to wait. We want to see it now. And that's how I be feeling. Like, I want to see this shit now. I want to see it happen now. I don't want to wait. But sometimes you do got to be patient because, like I said, whoever you pray to or believe in, they up there making a plan for you, mapping out that master plan for you so you can be prepared for it. However, they can't release it until they see that you've been hustling real, you've been hustling how you're supposed to and having that drive before they can say, here, boop, and just throw it in you, just like throwing the signs down and stuff, So I agree with that. Like, when you do have the being burnt out and stressed out, it do be tiring, especially when you get that proper rest. Like, that's when bags come out of our eyes and all that shit. So we don't want that, but it happens. And some things too that people say, like, that's a con that comes to hustling, is like neglecting the well-being. It's like hustling may cause an individual to neglect their overall well-being, like including their relationship, hobbies, and personal time. Like over prioritizing yourself with a lot of work or ambition can lead to you to have an imbalance in your life. I was one of those people. Like, when I started off, like when I turned 18, that's where, like I said, that's where shit got real. I feel like when somebody turned 18, that's where shit get real, and then shit ain't funny no more. Like, I graduated out of high school, and it was during the pandemic, so I was fucked. I was like, damn. I'm like, damn, what I'm gonna do? Like, we in the damn pandemic. I really can't do what I want to do. But I said it ain't gonna fuck up my hustle. It did kind of slow me down, like financial wise, because like I wasn't making money. I mean, yeah, you graduate out of high school, and this thing about me, like when I always graduated, I always graduate a month before my birthday. So yeah, I had money, you know, from like in school, hustling, helping people with essays and shit like that. And during the pandemic too, yes, I was finding the hustle. Because like, you know, I wasn't employed. I wasn't the type of person that was clocking in and clocking out until I was 18, right after I graduated high school. I graduated high school at 17. But when I was 18, you know, I was getting prepared for college. And I was like, you know, I got to find ways to hustle. I got to have some type of money in my pocket, too. You know, even though we are in a pandemic, you know, you still want to be able to have money because you never know what the fucking happened within the blink of an eye, you know. So I was like, you know what, I need to map shit out. And that's where I was like, you know, I was hustling to the point where, like, I'm helping motherfuckers. I'm up to the sun. It was days where, like, when we did virtual, I was up to the motherfucking sunrise helping people with papers, projects, everything. But I did that because I needed that money. But I also did it because that's the type of person I am. I'm going to help you. Like, I'm willing to help. And if it's also, you know, making me, it's helping me and it's helping you, cool, I'm going to do whatever I got to do. But if it's not helping me, baby, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not wasting my time. And yes, I did drown myself to the point where, like, when I graduated, and I had to wait to start college in August, I got bored. I'm like, I ain't got no income coming in like that no more. I mean, I make sure I had money, but it's like, there's nothing better than being able to see how you getting money and where it's going and how it's going, you know. So yeah, when we hustle, we have the burnt out, stressful moments because, like, what the fuck? And them neglecting our well-being because it's like, what are we doing? But we got to keep going. We had that motive in our mind, like, we got to keep going, especially to my black people. Like, we have that motive, like, we got to keep going no matter what, because nobody is going to give us shit. We got to work for that. And, you know, I see and I believe in the narrative, you know, like, black people at times, we're not guaranteed to be handed a silver spoon versus the other races. You know, mommy and daddy make sure they wipe your problems away. Like, yes, I grew up in a household with both my parents, still do. But I'm at that point where I'm older. I don't want to keep depending on them for certain stuff unless I have to. Like, other races, they be like, daddy, mommy. Like, I just feel like, yo, like, you don't have no type of hustle. You ain't got no drive. Like, what are you going to do? God forbid if something happens to mommy and daddy. What are you going to do? You're going to be fucked because you have no type of hustle. And that's the thing. My mom and my dad always told me, you got to hustle. You got to have some other type of source, you know, networking when it comes to money. But you also got to hustle in things that you are passionate about. Like, I'm passionate about my podcast. I'm hustling hard for it to get to how I want it to be. School, I'm hustling, busting my ass to make sure I get that bachelor's degree as a social worker and get them licensed, okay? You got to hustle for a lot of things you do. And, you know, at times it does. Like I said, it burns out. It's burning. It's going to burn you out and stress you out. That leads to neglecting your well-being. But you got to think, like, all in all, it's going to pay off. Another thing that impacts with hustling that's lacked is quality and quantity. Like, that one is like, you know, like, in the position of you hustling, there is like a lack of like quality over quantity. Like, rushing through the task might lead to a mistake or reduce the attention to deal with. So sometimes, you know, like, the quality of what we're doing is good, but the quantity, sometimes we miss it. You know, we always think of quality and not quantity. And, that right there, I'd be like, damn, it's true, but it's like, it affects us real bad because it's like, we don't look at it. We don't look at both. We always look at one. And I think, you know, once we get to that green light, it's like, oh, I get it now. But then it's like, people be like, you need to see it now before you fuck up, which is true. Another thing that also impacts with hustling in a bad way, well, the con, is the impact on relationships. This goes with family relationships, friends relationships, in lovers relationships. Like hustling may lead you to like have strange stains, whatever, in the relationship that like it can fuck you up. It can fuck them up. Cause like I ain't really lie. When it comes to family, like I seen my mom bust her ass 30 days straight, and I felt like I never seen my mom. Like I only see my mom in the morning and night, or sometimes I feel like I ain't see her at all because she hustles so much. Like she was going to school and going to work 30 days straight. I felt like I didn't see my mom because she was busy. And you know, mothers, parents, fathers, parents in general, they do a lot of things. They sacrifice a lot of things for their family. And my mom sacrificed a lot, just as much as my dad. However, my mom went back to school when we were young, and I was like, damn. Like she really was going to school and working, so it was just like at times I want to see my mom. I'd be like, dang, where's my mom? Like, don't get me wrong, there was no problem. Like sometimes it wasn't a problem, you know, because I understood. But then sometimes like, this is weird. Like I don't see my mom, but you know, it didn't like affect us real bad. It just was like, damn, my mom, like it helped me in life. I was like, damn, my mom really wasn't one of the ones that just bypassed. She was really a hustler. Like she really is a hustler. I'm not gonna say was, because she still is. You know, I don't care what age you are. You can hustle when you 10, 5, especially little kids. They hustle mans. Okay, you come to the parties and stuff. They're like, oh, can I get a dollar? Can I get a dollar? Yes, they hustle with money, and when they get older, when they hustle in the academics, it's amazing. But yes, with the family, with my opinion, yeah, I see my mom hustle when it came to school and work, because like I mentioned, sometimes I wouldn't see my mother and I'd be like, damn, where's my mom? You know, and I knew at times she was drained, you know, right after you work a 9 to 5, then you gotta come home, do homework. Then after homework, you gotta take a shower, and that shower helped her go to bed. And I'd be like, I ain't messing with my mom. But once she was finished, like, you know, got to her destination of where she wanted to be and was finished at that deadline, I was like, I'm so glad I can see your face now and get on your nerve. Because I was bored. Don't get me wrong, my father was there, of course. We got on his nerves. I knew he was like, I'll be glad when she finished. Like, I'll be glad when she get to this point that she want to do when it comes to this part, so they can get off my back. Friendships, I wouldn't say they didn't affect me as much. Sometimes it did, because like I said, when I turned 18, that's where it got hot. Like, that's where my hustle drive went skew. It went like boom. I was on go. Like once I was able to get one job, and I was going to school, and I found another way to make money. I was so busy hustling, I didn't know what fun time was. And mind you, we still in the pandemic, but the pandemic was like some things was lifting and people wanted to go back outside. I said, nope, I'm going to, the only time you're going to see me outside is I'm at work. And I wasn't going to school up until like it lifted in 2021. So then I was somewhat going outside, but not really. And my friends be like, oh my gosh, I don't see you like that. I don't hear from you, baby. I'm hustling. It was so bad to the point where I was doing summer classes, going to work. Winter classes, going to work. Like I was hustling. Up to this day, I still be doing that. But I ain't taking no summer classes. So since I'm at my new university, no. I said, let me get at a break. But I'm still hustling, because I'm doing the podcast and I'm working my 2 jobs. So I'm still doing it, but I'm still making time. Because it's summertime. When you older, it's like, all right, I gotta have a little fun time, so then I could recap, reboot, so I can get it done. Now relationships, I'm gonna say talking stages on this one. Now, when you in the talking stages, and when you in the talking stage with a hustler just like you, baby, sometimes you think it's not gonna work, and that's how I felt. Sometimes I feel like it's not gonna work, because I'm quick to say I'll make time, that's no problem, but you gotta meet me halfway. You know, you gotta meet that person halfway. You can't just say you're gonna make time and you don't meet that person halfway. That should be pissing me off, because I feel like if we talking and we bonding and we getting that sense of like ooh, like I like you, I might end up falling in love with you type vibe. You need to make sure you prepare for this, because I be telling people like, don't jump for these relationships, especially if you're dealing with somebody that hustle real bad. Even if it ain't hustling school wise and working, or if it's just like working or in the streets wise, because that's another thing too I want to talk about after like I finish pulling out the cons of hustling that people always fail to realize. It happens, but sometimes it's like you can get over it. But then the talking stage, people be like, you gonna make time for me? Like, why you not doing this? Why you not doing that? It's no problem making time, baby. It's no time. But like I said, you gotta meet me halfway, because it takes two to do things, especially relationship type things and talking stage things. It takes two, it don't take one. You gotta meet me halfway. So when you in a relationship with talking to somebody that's a hustler, baby, be prepared for sometimes you ain't gonna hear from him, y'all not gonna hear from each other. But long as you let them know in the beginning what's up, and it's cool. But if you don't let them know in the beginning, yeah, they're gonna be on your ass like, like, well, what are you doing? Like, So yeah, I understand how that goes. Like at times it can affect the family, your friends, and your significant other or others, whatever. And lastly, the lack of enjoyment. Yeah, when you hustling, it becomes like a part of the natural routine. Like that's all that is like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that to make sure I'm good. Sometimes you forget to focus on like the outcomes of what it is to be free sometimes. And as an individual, sometimes we may lose sight of joy and passion like within things that we like, that'll cause us to like decrease in those things. Like it'll lead us to like don't want to do things no more. That's why I said, like, for me, I was in that type of mindset. But like when I had a break from certain stuff, it was like okay, get back out there, do what you do. But nevertheless, like the key to successfully hustling lies in the falling of balance. Like you gotta have that balance that allows for growth, achievement, and well-being. Like it is essential to set the realist goals, provide your self-care, and maintain healthy boundaries to avoid being burnt out fully, and make sure you reward yourself in the end. So yeah, now on to the topic that a lot of people fail to realize, that hustling is just not this one thing. It's a lot of things. Every time people hear hustling, they think of the streets. And yes, at times when I was younger, I used to say, hustling? Oh, you a street boy. Because you always would hear boys say, oh, I'm a hustler, I hustle for mine. And this when I was in middle school, I used to be like, hustling? You in the street? You a street boy? Because like when you listen, like when you grew up listening to certain music, like Jeezy, I love Jeezy. And that's all he talk about is hustling, what he do to hustle and this and that and the third. And I always be like, oh, you a street boy. Oh, you be out there in the street. You be standing on the corner type stuff to hustle. Like, but those type of hustlers, I was thinking like, the little boys that be selling water and stuff. I wasn't thinking about boys that were selling drugs. However, it happened. But that's the thing, like I mentioned earlier, you can't judge a book by its cover until you are able to sit down and read a few motherfucking pages. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Like they always say black people are the ones that be hustling a lot in the street, which is not, I'll say, all the time. Well, in my city, yes, we gonna hustle, and it's not just on no drugs, baby. We hustle we gonna hustle, man, you with everything. Food, clothes, whatever you need on the street. That's where it started, hustling. I feel like the streets is a platform that can help you too when it comes to wanting to help you get that golden ticket, for what you need, whatever you need or whatever you looking for and stuff like that. The streets is sometimes a good example of what to do and what not to do. Like I said too, when it comes to relationships, at time when you get older, sometimes people cannot. I'm talking about money wise. Sometimes when we deal with people, mainly the boys, they be outside hustling. They're not. Some dudes are not prepared for clock in, clock out. Some dudes is not used to those $400 or $500 checks, and I don't blame them because at times I be like, I'm not used to these because like, you know, you used to something else, especially if you know that you can do something and make fast money this way. Why not do it? But sometimes fast money. Sometimes you're not going to get all that fast money in the same time. Like at that time. Like sometimes you'll have your good days, sometimes you have your bad days. That's every time when it comes to working, period. And with academics, anything you hustling for sometimes, you have your good and your bad. But you always got to remember, like, don't give up. Keep on striving. Keep on doing what you got to do because this is your hustle and you don't want to knock that hustle down. You got to do what makes you happy. But you also got to make sure that business is business and business is being taken care of the right way. And I'm real big on when it comes to handling my business because my business is like another side of me that shows people that I know what the fuck I'm doing and I know how to handle it and I know how to hold and fold them and do what I need to do when it needs to be done and address this and you know I just feel like hustling is one of the many things that people fail to realize that a lot of people can do it. But a lot of people just don't put in the effort to do it. And I say this to say too, like, you know, shout out to my black people. I'm going to keep saying that. Shout out to my people. Shout out to my motherfucking people. Because y'all really are some hustlers. Y'all can make anything shake. Y'all can turn nothing into something and make that shit flip it and shape it. Y'all can really do things that many people don't see in us. Because a lot of people be like, oh, I can do that. You sure? And I be like, you sure? Especially when it comes to food. Well, everybody can't cook like that. I know I can't. So I ain't even raised, you know, put a little pedazzle on me. But I know my people can. They throw down. My people throw down. My black people throws down because that's in our DNA. I can if I try, y'all, but sometimes I be like, stop for me. But I'm gonna do it. But guys, nonetheless, like shout out to all my hustlers out there because y'all really putting a blueprint for people. And being a hustler at times, you could be a role model. You could be a goddamn good role model because once the younger generation or whoever, even the older people, sometimes they become you. Sometimes older people can come to you and be like, "Damn, I see what you doing. I admire what you doing because you really doing something that I should have done." You know, like sometimes don't be afraid to give people their motherfucking flowers. I say this all the time. Like, give people their flowers while they here because when they gone, it's not going to feel the same because I want to get people's reaction out. I don't want to wait till they gone and I can't get a reaction out of them because it's going to be like, damn, you know, it's going to eat you up inside and stuff. So, yeah, if you see somebody hustling, grinding, doing whatever it takes for them to make ends meet or whatever it is that they doing, give them their props, give them their flowers because it's not easy to do the shit that they're doing. It's not easy to do the shit that I'm doing. In general, it's not easy at all, and that's what people fail to realize, that they think this shit is easy. Yeah, I'm gonna make it look easy, but this shit is not easy because I gotta really push forward and make sure I got the strength every day to do what the fuck I'm doing because motherfuckers out here, they got a team that's doing this. Sometimes you don't need no team. Sometimes you a one-man army and you getting that shit done out the mud. Sometimes it's like you do need a team and sometimes you don't. Sometimes, like with me, I feel like I do want a team. You want a team, but then sometimes it's like you don't. Because sometimes it's like you don't want people coming to your empire and fucking it up. Or in case, like, you know, if you watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, how Mama D be like, you don't want no ruckus in the palace. And that's how I feel like sometimes it do be draining. Sometimes I'm like, I do need people to help me out. But then sometimes it's like, I don't want nobody trying to take over my shit because this is me. And I don't want nobody trying to step over my hustle. I don't want nobody to take what I made. And that's sometimes too, like, sometimes it's like you really gotta be careful who you put in these businesses with you too when it come to your hustling and your grinding, because sometimes motherfuckers see you and they be envy of you and they want to take what you got and try to make it their own. Like, you can't ride off my hustling coattail, motherfucker. You gotta go out there and get it out the mug like I did. So nevertheless, with that being said, I say this to say, hustle for yours, grind till you can't grind no more. But also, please take time for yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, because you need to always be able to be recharged. You can't keep going out with no energy. You gotta make sure you energize, you stay up. Yes, like I said, believe in the saying no days off, but you always gotta make sure that you are prepared for the next day, because sometimes, like, you in that mood, and then sometimes physically you're not, but mentally you're here, and spiritually too, it can fuck you up too. So yes, believe it. Y'all know everything I say and do is raw and uncut on here. There's no cut cards or nothing. I'm speaking real facts and real feelings, because, you know, like I said, this is what this is about. This podcast is about. I'm telling you raw and uncut information that will help you in the future. I hope, if it don't help a lot, it help at least one person, you know, especially when it comes to this game called hustling. It's not easy. When you hustle, it is not easy at all. It takes a lot out of you to even be prepared to do what you gotta hustle for, even if it's for income, school, sports, whatever. You have to make sure that you are willing and sincerely prepared for this, because it's not easy. Like, this shit ain't easy. It's not easy. But I'm gonna tell you something, it be all worth it in the end, because it's going to be so beautiful. Like, I'm telling you, once you get it done out the mug and it is what it is, you're gonna be like, damn, just followed by me, just following that blueprint and getting this done and doing what I gotta do, I feel better and I look better and I smell better. Okay. But yes, nevertheless, I wish y'all enough of a peace and blessings. I hope that this episode put a light on some of y'all, because, like, everybody is a hustler, especially to my black people. Once again, shout out to my motherfucking black people. I love y'all so much. I love what y'all do. I love being black. I love y'all. I love us. But yes, I wish y'all enough of a peace and blessings. I hope whenever you're listening to this, even if you're having a good or bad day, I just hope it brings some type of light to you. You know, I want you guys to be safe. Please be careful. You know, it's still summertime, so please stay hydrated and all them good things like that, and have a ball. But please be responsible and drink responsible. And until then, you guys will hear from me. Bye.